Hello everybody, this is David Blair, the Crosshairs Trader, and I welcome you today as I look at weekly charts. We Crosshairs Traders look at weekly charts to give us an idea of a stock's potential direction for the next few weeks to months. We do not necessarily trade a weekly chart. We simply use it as direction for our daily and intraday charts. So I have several that I'm going to look at today and one bonus intraday crosshair that we're going to look at as well. Let's start with AEM. This is one that I mentioned in a blog post on the Gold Miners Index. So you're going to see some notes that I have on this chart, but let's take a look at the daily on AEM. And you can see that up here I have a weekly resistance zone line. So let's take a look at our weekly chart for AEM. AEM did give us a crosshair several weeks ago. And it has pushed up for those several weeks. And we're watching to see if AEM, a gold miner, can make it up to this resistance zone of around 72, and then the next resistance is around 80. So we're looking at this to give us a bullish direction for the next few weeks to months, and to be able to trade that on a daily or intraday chart. And again, to give you an example of what I mean by that, when we look at a daily chart, you can see that this past week for our Crosshairs traders, we talked about AEM breaking out of this area and possibly heading up to the 72 area from around 65. Next is IR. Let me bring in my weekly chart on IR. Ingersoll Rand. This is one that fired a crosshair several weeks ago, and this is a good example of why we do not trade just because a crosshair has fired on a weekly chart. We wait for another signal on a smaller chart. We use multiple time frames. We feel like it increases our probability of a successful trade. So here you can see that IR fired a crosshair. However, we were in a resistance zone when it did that. So we're waiting to see what's going to happen with IR in this consolidation zone. If it can break out, it's a trade. If not, we won't touch it. But you can see where it came back and hit a support area also. So it is in a range right now. NSC, Norfolk Southern. Same thing. It's been consolidating. It's been consolidating with the market. But we've got a support area down here. We've had our crosshair, our bullish crosshair. However, we are looking at a resistance level up here. This should be a red line. Red line for resistance. Green line for support. So we're watching NSC for a possible trade on our daily and intraday chart, and it's just not a high probability situation yet. What I would like to see is for NSC to break out of this area in here and consolidate, and then have a run toward NSC's highs in the 70-point range. But nothing yet. But on our radar screen, WLL. Whiting Petroleum, here's a crosshair. It is now beginning to attempt to break out of this resistance level that it's hit many times. There was our last crosshair, did not break out. Now we're holding, so we're watching WLL on our daily chart. Let's see what WLL looks like on our daily chart. And you can see this same resistance zone on our daily chart. So we'd like to see this break out on our daily chart consolidate, and then give us a possible trade, or either break out here and enter a position. If it pulls back, add to our position. So that's what we're looking at on WLL from a weekly chart crosshair. And then our next level of resistance will be around the 105 level. But we also need to keep in mind the $100 cycle level. So a possible opportunity with WLL. Wynn Resorts, casino stock. This one looks really good. It has now broke out on the weekly chart. And what I mean by that is we had a close above what was resistance. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to hold this week, but at least for right now, it is broken above, or is right at, if you want to call it that, a resistance level. So now we're going to be watching it for a possible trade. In fact, for those who are crosshairs traders this week, we actually had a crosshair fire on our intraday chart. Let me pull that up. We had a crosshair fire here on our intraday chart. Breaking out. It's already moved up a couple of dollars, but then we're looking for resistance. Last crosshair was back here at the beginning of August on our intraday chart. So we're going to be watching Wynn. And for those who are in Wynn and watching Wynn, we know that the resistance level at this point, strong resistance level, is around 94. So if you're trading this, that is a potential target, and for a potential loss is back around the 90 level. Okay. Next is MED. MED fired a crosshair right at resistance on the weekly chart recently. And with that resistance, it has come back. And now we're continuing to watch MED on the weekly to see if we could possibly have a trade set up on our daily or intraday chart. Head back up to resistance, or maybe better yet, wait for it to break through the resistance around the 31.50 and trade up to 35. But nothing there yet. Nothing really setting up on our daily charts yet on them either. SPG has broken out, has consolidated, and started heading back up again. SPG, Simon Property Group, has the potential to move up to a resistance level of the Psych 100. The last time it reached 100, we had a crosshair down, and it went down considerably, but we do need to watch this level. Let's take a look at it on our daily and intraday charts. You can see on the daily chart that it's sitting right on that support. Looks like it's getting ready to want to break out and to do something. We just do not know yet. So then we move down to our 144, and we just got a crosshair on our 144. Just need to watch whether or not it can break out of this gap and price resistance here. So we'll be watching SPG as well. Okay. Last one is VNO. VNO. VNO fired a crosshair, needed to break some resistance level at the 200 period moving average on our weekly chart, which it did. It is now consolidating above what was resistance and now could be support. So we're going to be watching that on our daily chart, and you can see that right here. This could either be considered a red line or a green line right now. So we're going to be watching VNO to see if it can continue to consolidate and break out of this area and take off. Those are the ones that we've been watching on our weekly charts. AEM, IR, NSC, WLL, WYNN, MED, SPG, VNO, and then I'm going to give you a bonus. A bonus today is PCP, Precision Cast Parts. Notice our weekly chart. Our weekly chart has been consolidating. We've got a high that we're going to be watching around 135, 134.50, 135. We've got a strong support at the 102 area. So let's put this in here. New parallel at the 134.5, 135 area. And then we look at our daily chart. We can see that PCP has finally decided to break out of a potential support area here around 125. And here's our resistance level from the weekly chart. So it's attempting to break out. All our moving averages are where we want them to be on our daily chart. And we've had a crosshair on the 144. So now we can watch it and see if PCP can continue its move up. Of course, we do have to continue to watch the general market. If the general market is at a resistance level, most of your stocks are going to roll over and go down. If the market decides it's going to stay where it is, consolidate, and continue to move up, PCP is going to be a great opportunity to make some money over the next week or two. I appreciate your time here. Visit me at thecrosshairstrader.com. Sign up to receive my updated post. You can do that now via Twitter, email, or RSS feed. We'd love to have you. If you want details about our weekly meetings, we have twice weekly meetings for Crosshairs traders. Please contact me at david@thecrosshairstrader.com. And in these meetings, we go through many stocks and we do them in more detail and look at more than just the weekly charts. We look at the daily and intraday and see where the highest probability trades are showing up. Have a wonderful day, and thank you.